Howdy guys, welcome back to another one. We're going to do some more 10 gauge. This time it's a 2 1/4 ounce assembly of lead BBs. I'm using 185 cal, making it truly BB plus size, right in between BB and triple B. This is a pretty simple assembly. We are using a Remington 3.5 inch hull. It is primed with a Federal 209A and it is skived. Next, little gun 42 TPS wad. This one is pre-slit. I usually like the unslit ones and then, do it myself, but this is pre-slit. Got to use them up. A 1/4 inch 20 gauge felt wad to add some cushion and take up some stack height. We're using 102 pellets of BAM BPI BAM 185 cal BB plus. I really like that pellet size. With an assembly like this, it's going to be a great long-range coyote, fox, predator like that assembly. Now, way back in the day, a shell like this would have been great goose medicine. It would have been like a top-of-the-line goose shell. But since we can't use lead for waterfowl anymore, well, it's a great coyote load. Might also work pretty good for sandhill crane, but after the pellets, we're using BSB buffer, which is my favorite buffer of all time. And lastly, we'll be using one section of a 10 gauge nitro card. They come in sections of 3. Just tear one off and you have an overshot card. So, without further ado, let's get this started. There's that. We need our wad. These go together so quick. It's really simple. Our 1/4 inch 20 gauge felt wad, drop that in there and get it in place. You want it flat, obviously, which it is. Oh, it came loose. For 10 gauge, you really need 16 gauge wads, filler wads inside of them, but 20 gauge will work too. They're just a little loose. So after that, we need 102 pellets of this lead BB plus. That is 2.245 ounces, which is basically 2 1/4 ounces. Now, that is going to fill that wad perfect. It comes up right to the top of the wad. No pellets are above it, which is excellent. Now, we need buffer if you want to use buffer. I'm again using BSB 2 level scoops of the Lee 2.2 cc dipper. That'll bring it up to 2.3 ounces even, which little gun can certainly handle. The most lead you can, the highest payload you can load with little gun would be 3 ounces in 10 gauge. So I want to show you something real quick. If you guys don't have one of these, I highly recommend picking one up. They are really good at settling buffer. There's 1 scoop and 2 scoops. Now, this is a vibrating massager. Check this out. See the buffer? And it's gone. And it is now settled. That took seconds versus like an entire minute or more of tapping it in place. That's incredibly easy and a very cool tool to have. After doing that, I like to get a 10 gauge wad tamper and just give it a press, make sure everything is flat in there, and this is what it should look like. See, the buffer is flush with the top row of pellets. That's what you want. Now, since stack height is kind of low, you can see it's right here. We do need an overshot card. So, throw that on top and you're ready to crimp. I actually misspoke. You apparently need the entire overshot card. This one I put together earlier and I just used some fiber cushion on it, but I guess I was just mistaken with the amount. It took an entire 10 gauge overshot card or nitro card to get the right stack height. But we can now fold crimp this. I'm obviously using a Lee Load-All. Pre-crimp looks excellent. This thing right here is called a Rabacitor, and I highly recommend getting one. They produce factory style crimps. They help you get factory style crimps. So this is what it does. You can see it starting to form here. It creates a crease around the top edge of the hull, creating really good crimp memory, and once you final crimp this, it's going to look like a factory shell. We'll give it just a little bit more, because why not? Oh, that actually almost closed it up, but you can see, that's going to look really good when we're done. It is belled out just a little bit this way, if you look closely, but once we final crimp it, well, there you go. No longer belled out, and we have a flawless crimp on it. Nice and deep set, flat, no pinhole, looks beautiful. Having a look at the rest of the shell here, you can see no bulging of the plastic anywhere. Awesome. That used to be a real common goose shell way back in the day, but no one makes them anymore as far as I know, aside from custom outfits. But that's going to end this one here, guys. We want to thank you for watching. Please give us a like and subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section below, and we'll get back to you. And if you want to, go check out our Patreon. It's as low as $1 a month, and you guys get early access to content. A link to that, as well as a link to our Instagram, Rumble, and merch store will be in the description below. But other than that, you guys take it easy. We'll see you in the next one.